What's going on, you guys? Your boy Devon Terrell, the living weirdo. And today what I'm going to be showing you is how to get that extreme clarity out of your vocals without destroying it or making it too jarring on the ear. You hear this a lot in modern day music. It's not just about boosting an EQ and then it's all bright and clear and cutting through the mix. There's actually a technique that I like to use, and I'm going to show you that today. So let's get right to it. So this song that we're looking at is called The World Is Yours. So one of my songs you'll probably never hear. And basically, I'll play you the vocal without the vocal high end. Now, this vocal is compressed, EQ, the whole nine. Just haven't done the actual process of the actual vocal high end trick. So I'll just play it for you without it right quick, and just so you can get an idea of the song.
Staring out my window once again, floating through the night sky like the wind. I can see the stars and the moon and the sunshine on me. Seems so far, but soon I'll be the best that you ever seen. Holding on to time, but I'm just losing it every day.
Cool. So this song's called The World Is Yours, and you can hear the vocal. It sounds fine. I think it sounds great. Basically, we're going to get it to cut through the mix even more and become even more bright. Even though I know it probably to your ear, you're like, it sounds fine. It sounds like it's cutting through the mix, but we can get this thing even more clear, and I'm going to show you how I do it. Okay. So first thing I like to do is I create another track, and this track that I created right here, as you can see, is called Vocal High End. What I do is I create an aux and I send out a copy of the same lead vocal to this track. Now, if you don't know much about writing and bussing and stuff like that, I will make another tutorial on that, but for right now I'm just going to skip past this, like you know how to route channels and send auxes like reverbs and stuff like that. So same concept. So you can see right here, I'm sending out an aux all the way up at 0, sending out to this track 42, bus 42 right here. And basically this is how I like to start it. So if we listen to this thing by itself, the raw vocal, this is what we have.
Staring out my window once again, floating through the night sky like the wind.
Cool. So that's the vocal. Basically, it's the same exact vocal that is on the actual lead. Now we're going to start modifying this copy. So first thing I like to do is you are going to roll off absolutely all the bass on this vocal. Literally, you're going to roll off even the mid-range. You just want the high end. So basically what I'm going to do is at about 9,000 hertz, you're going to boost a ton, an unbelievable ton of high end at this part. You're going to roll off all of the bottom end, as you can see right here, and you're going to boost. So this is how the vocal sounds with all the low end rolled off and just that high end boosted at 9,000 hertz at 8 dB. Cool. So you can hear it. You can barely hear it, actually. It's just bright. It's high end. It's essy. It's a mess. This is okay because we're going to fix this as we go along, and we're going to bring this into the vocal. Okay, next thing I like to do is I like to add compression. I like to use this. Now, like I showed you in my other stuff, when it comes to these things that you're doing exaggerative kind of moves and stuff like that, I like to bring the attack really fast, and I like the release to be mid. And the reason why I like the attack really fast is because I want to control those S's and peaks, and I want to bring that actual that dynamic of the high end to a level where it's not completely just jumping off on the meters and stuff like that. So that's how that is. So I'll show you that before and after. Cool. So you can actually see the compressor only engaging when those S's and T's come out, because that's basically what's been boosted, and that's what comes out the most with the sibilants, like I've showed you in previous tutorials. So basically I have the attack controlling those S's and T's, bringing them back down so that it's not too jarring to your ear. Cool. So you see it right there. I have it. Next thing I like to do is the all-powerful, and I know you're waiting for this, de-esser, and I have it de-essing at this 4,237 hertz. And I know what you're saying, you rolled off all of that. Well, most EQs aren't perfect. Sometimes what happens is those frequencies are still there. Even when you roll some of that stuff off, they're still there for the most part. As far as some that are behind that 8,000 hertz that we're boosting, there are still some frequencies below that's there. But this is the frequency that always bothers me, and this is why I DS this one. So I'll play this for you right quick. Cool. So once again, we have another compressor type, which a de-esser is a compressor. It's basically controlling those S's and T's again. So we have another level of controlling those S's and T's. Moving on. Cool. So now we go a little on the unorthodox range. Now what you're going to do is you're going to add a limiter. And basically what this limiter is going to do is it's going to stop all of that in its track. So basically it's going to be a brick, how we done it with parallel compression before. The vocal high end is basically going to be a brick, and that's why we're using a limiter, so that it is literally a brick. There's no dynamics in this S in the vocal high end. And I'll play that for you right quick so you can see it. Boom. So now it's hitting this limiter like a brick. You can even hear a bit of distortion, but it's okay. It's not a big deal because this is only to be blended with the actual lead vocal that we haven't destroyed. So that's how I like to do that. You see, I have the ceiling at 7.8. Basically what that 7.8 is saying is that anything above 7.8, do not let it even go through the that ceiling at all. So basically when it levels is coming through on the meters, it's only hitting about 7.8 of dB, and that's about it. And that's how I like to do that. Next thing I like to do, final step, is I like to bring back a slight amount. This is actually the secret to me. I like to bring back a slight amount of dynamics to it. And the way I like to do that is I like to actually throw a delay right on the vocal high end. Unorthodox, you're not supposed to, most people don't throw delays right on the vocal track, but this is what I like to do for this one in particular. You throw this on, and what it's going to do is it's going to add a bit of bounce with the high end. So when you're listening back to the actual vocal track, you're going to feel like the high end, that bright, shrilly sound, is going to be dancing in your ears a little bit. And it's really dope because it feels like it gives the vocal some movement. So this is what I like to do. And these are my settings. So I like to use a quarter note on the delay side, a slight amount of feedback at 30. I like to keep this at about a 4 for dry, and that's it. Now, if you're using any other delays, you can find your settings, but just keep in mind that you want to keep it at about a quarter note of a delay. You want to do a quarter note delay, and you want to roll off at about 300 hertz off of this delay. If your delay doesn't let you do that, then you should find a delay that actually lets you actually EQ within it. So that's how I like to do that. So I like to roll off about 300 hertz, and then I like to do a quarter note delay. That's all you need to know. If you have any delay, you can probably figure this out. Don't do the feedback too high. You don't want it to dance too much. Do it to your taste. I'll play it for you so you can get an idea of what I mean. So this is with it. Cool. And right there, you can actually hear it dancing a little bit. It's really dope. It's a delay. I know you hear it, but when it's in the track, you'll just feel it. It's just a feeling that you're going to have. And that's it. Okay. So now the moment of truth. Cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this all the way down. I'm going to play the track for you, and then I'm going to blend this vocal high end to taste, and then we'll go from there. So here we go. So watch me closely as I bring this fader up.
Staring out my window once again, floating through the night sky like the wind. I can see the stars and the moon and the sunshine on me.
Night and day. Okay, so basically, just so I can get your ears in tune with this, I'm gonna play it and I'm gonna keep muting the vocal high in and out. Listen closely. So without.
Staring out my window once again,
Let's bring it in.
floating through the night sky like the wind. can see the stars and the moon and the sunshine on me. Seems so far, but soon I'll be the best that you ever seen.
And that's how I like to do that. Now, right quick, what I'll do is I'll play you the vocal solo so you can get an idea of how it sounds without the music. So this is without, and I'll keep popping it back in and out.
Staring out my window once again, floating through the night sky like the wind. I can see the stars and the moon and the sunshine on me. Seems so far, but soon I'll be the best that you ever seen.
And that's how I like to do that, guys. Really simple trick if you just really apply it to any of your stuff. And it can really help. Obviously, I would mix this a little more as far as tuning this down and kind of fixing a few things. If it's a little too bright, I have to check on my other monitors. But nonetheless, that's how I like to do that. That's my process of adding that clear, crystal sound without destroying your lead vocal. So once again, that was me showing you guys how to get that crystal clear vocal top in on your lead vocals, or any of your vocals for that matter. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment below, and let me know what video you want to see next. And also, catch me on Instagram, and I'm giving you daily tips about things like this. It's your boy Devon Terrell. I hope this was helpful, and that was my tip on how to get that vocal high end. Check out another videos for some more tips, and hope you enjoy.